In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes in life we go through moments that confuse the heart. Doors close, plans change, and the future becomes uncertain. In those moments we may feel as if nothing good is coming. But what if those moments are actually signs? Signs that Allah is preparing something beautiful for you. Sometimes before a blessing arrives, Allah places certain signs in our lives, moments that quietly guide our hearts back toward patience, trust and hope. Today we will reflect on 5 powerful lessons that may reveal why your current situation is not the end of your story, but the beginning of something beautiful that Allah is preparing for you. 1. Allah is making you wait. My brothers and sisters, one of the clearest signs that something beautiful may be coming into your life is when Allah makes you wait. Waiting is one of the hardest experiences for the human heart. When we want something deeply, we naturally hope that it will happen quickly. We raise our hands in dua, we ask Allah sincerely, and we believe that our prayers will be answered. But sometimes days pass, months pass, and even years pass, and the answer does not come in the way we expected. In those moments, the heart begins to ask questions. A person may begin to wonder if their dua was heard, or if perhaps they are not worthy of what they asked for. Shaitan often whispers doubts into the heart during these periods of waiting, trying to make a person feel hopeless or forgotten. But the believer must remember something very important. Delay does not mean denial. Allah hears every single dua. Not a single word you whisper in prayer escapes His knowledge. When Allah delays something, it is never without wisdom. Sometimes Allah delays a blessing because the timing is not yet right. Sometimes He delays it because He wants to give you something even better than what you asked for. Think about a child who asked for something small. The parent may delay giving it, not because they want to disappoint the child, but because they are planning something greater. The child cannot see the bigger plan, but the parent can. In the same way, Allah knows what lies ahead in your life, while we only see the present moment. There are times when we ask Allah for something that we believe will make us happy, but Allah knows that if we received it immediately, it might actually harm us, distract us, or take us further away from Him. So Allah delays it until the moment when it will truly benefit us. Waiting also has another hidden purpose. It changes the heart. It builds patience, humility, and trust in Allah. When a person waits and continues to make dua with sincerity, their connection with Allah becomes stronger. They begin to rely on Allah more deeply, and they start to understand that true peace does not come from getting everything quickly, but from trusting that Allah's timing is always perfect. Many of the greatest blessings in life come after long periods of patience. The waiting prepares you for what is coming. It strengthens your character and deepens your faith, so that when the blessing finally arrives, you are able to appreciate it in a way you never could before. So if you are in a season of waiting right now, do not lose hope. Your waiting is not meaningless. Your patience is not unnoticed. Every moment that you continue to trust Allah is an act of worship. And sometimes the very thing that feels like a delay today is actually Allah arranging something far more beautiful for your tomorrow. 2. Allah removes certain people from your life. My brothers and sisters, one of the signs that Allah may be preparing something better for you is when certain people slowly disappear from your life. This is something that many of us experience, but very few of us understand while it is happening. A friendship may end unexpectedly. A relationship that once felt strong suddenly becomes distant. Someone you trusted may walk away, or circumstances may separate you from people you once believed would always remain in your life. When this happens, the heart naturally feels pain. Human beings are created with emotions, and when someone leaves our lives, it can create confusion, sadness, and even feelings of betrayal. Sometimes we begin to ask ourselves difficult questions. We may wonder why this happened or what we did wrong. In those moments, it can feel like something valuable has been taken away from us. But what we often fail to realize is that Allah sees what we cannot see. Allah knows the intentions of every heart. He knows the future that is hidden from us. He knows which people will support our growth and which people may quietly pull us away from what is good for our faith, our peace, and our future. Because of His mercy, Allah sometimes removes people from our lives before they are able to harm us in ways we cannot yet imagine. What appears to us as loss may actually be protection. There are many moments in life where we later look back and realize that someone leaving our life was not a tragedy, but a hidden blessing. Perhaps that person carried negativity that was slowly affecting your peace. Perhaps their presence was leading you toward choices that were not good for your faith. Or perhaps Allah was simply creating space for better people to enter your life at the right time. Sometimes the doors that close are not meant to punish you. They are meant to guide you. Allah may remove someone because He knows that the path ahead of you requires different companions. People who will encourage you toward goodness, remind you of Allah, and help you grow in your faith and character. The people we surround ourselves with influence our thoughts, our actions, and even our relationship with Allah. This is why the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminded us that a person is influenced by their close companions. So when Allah removes someone from your life, try not to hold on to anger or resentment. Instead, place your trust in Allah's wisdom. Accept that He knows what you do not know. Sometimes the removal of certain people is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. A chapter where Allah replaces what was lost with something better, something healthier, and something that brings you closer to peace. And often, as time passes, the heart begins to understand that what once felt like a painful goodbye was actually Allah gently guiding you toward a more beautiful future. 3. Allah brings you closer to Him. My brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful signs that Allah is preparing something good for your life is when your heart begins to move closer to Him. Sometimes this change happens slowly and quietly. A person who once felt distant from prayer suddenly feels the desire to pray more regularly. Someone who rarely raised their hands in dua suddenly finds themselves speaking to Allah more often. The heart that was once distracted by the noise of the world begins to seek moments of peace in remembrance of Allah. This change does not happen by accident. When Allah wants good for a person, He opens the doors that lead that person back to Him. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us that when Allah loves a servant, He guides that servant toward what is good. Guidance itself is one of the greatest blessings a person can receive in this life. Many people spend their entire lives chasing success, wealth, and recognition, believing that these things will bring them happiness. Yet even after achieving many of these goals, their hearts remain restless. They continue searching for peace but cannot seem to find it. This is because true peace does not come from what we possess in this world. Real peace comes from the connection between the heart and its creator. When Allah begins to draw your heart closer to Him, it is a sign of mercy. It means Allah has not abandoned you. It means He is inviting you to return to Him. No matter how far you may have felt in the past, every moment you feel the urge to pray, every moment you feel regret for your mistakes, and every moment you turn back to Allah is a sign that your heart is being guided. Sometimes Allah brings a person closer to Him through blessings, and sometimes He brings a person closer through hardship. There are moments when life becomes difficult and a person feels overwhelmed by problems. In those moments, the heart naturally searches for support and comfort. When that comfort is found in turning to Allah, those hardships begin to serve a beautiful purpose. They become the reason a person reconnects with their faith. Many people can look back at a difficult chapter in their lives and realize that it was the moment that changed their relationship with Allah. A painful experience may have pushed them to pray sincerely for the first time in years. A moment of loneliness may have led them to discover the peace that comes from remembrance of Allah. What seemed like a hardship became a doorway to something far greater. This is why being drawn closer to Allah is one of the most powerful signs of a beautiful future. When your heart begins to soften, when you feel the desire to improve your character, when you feel the urge to seek forgiveness and strengthen your faith, it means Allah is guiding you towards something better. The greatest blessing a person can receive is not wealth, status, or worldly success. The greatest blessing is a heart that knows its Creator, a heart that feels peace in prayer, and a heart that trusts Allah even when life feels uncertain. If you feel your heart slowly turning toward Allah, do not ignore that feeling. Protect it, nurture it, continue to pray, continue to make dua, and continue to seek closeness to Allah. Because when Allah brings your heart closer to Him, it is often the beginning of a journey that leads to blessings far more beautiful than anything this world could offer. 4. Your tests make you stronger. My brothers and sisters, one of the signs that Allah may be preparing something beautiful for you is when your life begins to include tests that shape and strengthen you. At first, this may sound difficult to understand, because when a person is going through hardship, it rarely feels like something positive. Tests can bring pain, confusion, and moments where the heart feels heavy. A person may feel overwhelmed by responsibilities, disappointment, or struggles that seem to appear one after another. During these moments, it is easy for a person to think that something is going wrong in their life. They may feel as if Allah is punishing them or turning away from them. But the reality taught to us in Islam is very different. Tests are not always a sign of punishment. Very often, they are a sign that Allah is shaping you into a stronger believer. Life in this world was never meant to be completely free from hardship. Allah created this life as a place of testing. Every person will experience moments of ease and moments of difficulty. These tests reveal the strength of a person's faith and their ability to trust Allah even when they cannot understand what is happening. Think about how valuable things are formed in this world. Gold is purified by fire. Diamonds are formed under intense pressure deep within the earth. Without that pressure and heat, those precious things would never come into existence. In a similar way, the believer's character is strengthened through the tests that Allah allows them to experience. When a person faces hardship and continues to remain patient, their patience grows stronger. When they face disappointment but continue to trust Allah's wisdom, their faith becomes deeper. When they experience loss but still turn to Allah for comfort, their heart becomes more connected to their Creator. Tests also teach us lessons that comfort and ease cannot teach. Hardship reminds us that we are not fully in control of our lives, and this realization brings humility to the heart. It reminds us that we need Allah in every moment of our lives. It encourages us to make sincere dua, to seek forgiveness, and to rely on Allah in ways that we may not have done during times of ease. Many people discover the strongest connection to Allah during the most difficult chapters of their lives. A moment of hardship can awaken the heart and bring a person closer to their faith than they have ever been before. When a person turns to Allah sincerely during a test, that moment of vulnerability becomes a moment of spiritual growth. It is also important to remember that Allah never burdens a soul with more than it can bear. Every test that comes into your life has been measured perfectly by the wisdom of Allah. Even when something feels extremely difficult, Allah knows the strength that exists within you. He knows that you are capable of enduring it and emerging stronger than before. Sometimes the tests you face today are preparing you for responsibilities and blessings that are coming in the future. A person who has never experienced difficulty may not have the strength or wisdom needed to handle greater responsibilities. But a person who has endured hardship often develops patience, understanding, and resilience that allows them to face the future with greater strength. When you look back at your life, you may notice that the moments which helped you grow the most were often the moments that were the most difficult at the time. The struggle shaped your character, the hardship deepened your faith. The pain taught you lessons that comfort never could. So if you are facing a difficult test right now, remind yourself that this moment does not define your future. Your hardship is not the end of your story. It may simply be a chapter that is preparing you for something greater. Allah sees your patience. He sees every moment you continue to trust Him even when life feels uncertain. And often, after a period of testing, Allah opens doors of relief and blessings in ways that a person could never have imagined. Your tests are not meant to break you. They are meant to build you into the person Allah knows you are capable of becoming. 5. Your heart feels hope again. My brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful signs that Allah may be preparing something beautiful in your life is when your heart begins to feel hope again. Hope is a very special feeling placed within the human heart. Even after moments of disappointment, after tears, after prayers that seemed unanswered, there are times when the heart slowly begins to believe again that something good may still happen. Life can sometimes place a person in situations where they feel emotionally exhausted. Difficult experiences, broken expectations, and repeated struggles can make the heart feel heavy. A person may begin to think that things will never change, that their situation will always remain the same, or that happiness is meant for others but not for them. But the believer must remember that despair is never the final chapter for someone who trusts in Allah. Allah reminds us in the Quran that no one loses hope in the mercy of Allah except those who go astray. This means that hope itself is a gift from Allah. When hope begins to return to your heart, it is often a sign that Allah is gently reminding you that His mercy is still surrounding you. There are moments when a person feels an unexpected sense of calm inside their heart. Nothing in their situation may have changed yet, but something within them begins to shift. The heart begins to feel lighter. The mind begins to think more positively about the future. A person begins to believe that perhaps Allah has something good planned for them after all. This feeling of hope is not meaningless. It is often a quiet reminder that Allah has not forgotten you. Allah hears every dua you make, even the ones whispered silently in the darkness of the night. He knows every worry that weighs on your heart. He knows the struggles that you may never speak about to anyone else. The pain you carry, the patience you show, and the prayers you continue to make are all known to Him. Sometimes Allah allows a person to go through a long period of difficulty so that their heart becomes stronger and more sincere. During those moments, the person learns to rely on Allah more deeply than before. They begin to understand that true strength does not come from having complete control over life, but from trusting the wisdom of the one who controls everything. Then, slowly, hope begins to return. It may begin with a small moment of peace during prayer. It may appear as a sudden feeling that things will eventually be okay. It may come through a reminder, a verse of the Quran, or a conversation that touches the heart in a meaningful way. These small moments of hope are often signs that Allah is guiding your heart toward patience and trust. They remind you that the story of your life is still being written. Many of the most beautiful changes in life begin quietly. Before a person sees the blessing, they often feel the hope first. The heart senses that something is shifting, even though the full picture is not yet visible. Think about the sunrise. Before the sun appears, the darkness slowly begins to fade. The light arrives gradually, bringing warmth and clarity after a long night. In the same way, hope often arrives before the blessing itself. When your heart begins to feel hope again, hold on to that feeling. Do not let the whispers of doubt take it away from you. Continue to make dua. Continue to trust Allah. Continue to believe that Allah's mercy is greater than any difficulty you have faced. Because Allah is capable of changing a person's situation in ways they never expected. A door that seemed permanently closed can suddenly open. A difficulty that seemed endless can suddenly come to an end. A prayer that was made long ago can suddenly be answered in a way that brings peace to the heart. The believer understands that Allah's plan is always better than what we imagine for ourselves. Even when we cannot see the path clearly, we trust that Allah is guiding every step. So if your heart has begun to feel hope again, take it as a beautiful sign. It may be Allah preparing you for the moment when the patience you showed, the prayers you made, and the trust you held will finally lead you to something truly beautiful. And when that moment arrives, you will look back at every struggle, every tear, and every moment of waiting, and you will realize that Allah was guiding you all along. My dear brothers and sisters, never believe that your struggles are unnoticed or that your patience is meaningless. Allah sees every moment of your effort, every tear that falls in silence, and every dua that rises from your heart. Sometimes the path becomes difficult not because Allah has forgotten you, but because He is preparing you for something greater than what you imagine. The delays, the changes, the tests, and even the moments of uncertainty may all be part of a plan that is far more beautiful than what we can see right now. So continue to trust Allah, continue to make dua, continue to walk forward with patience in your heart, because when Allah decides to open a door for you, no one can close it. And when the moment finally arrives, you will realize that every step of your journey was guiding you towards something truly beautiful. Trust the plan of Allah, for His plans are always perfect.